I'm at the very end of my native deodorant. It's been about 3 months, and I know now that these sticks last about 3 months for me. I'm at the very end, and I was going to switch up to a spring scent. I had either this cotton lily or actually candy cane. I know that's not very spring, but it's very fresh, so I was going to switch to one of these. But I got a message on one of my deodorant videos comparing Secret and Native and doing daily work and then exercise and seeing which one lasted longer and which one was better. And someone mentioned, why don't you try Dr. Teal's? This was something they really enjoyed and they loved more than Native. And you know me, I like a good comparison, so I decided to take it up a notch and do a day of Dr. Teal's and a day of Native and seeing which one I liked better. So I have been enjoying the Native deodorant. It's been 6 months now, so about 3 months each stick, and I already had 2 lined up ready to go. But that comment stuck in my mind, and I thought, you know what, I really want to try this Dr. Teal's. I read about it, and the main ingredient is magnesium, and I really like that because I know there's so many benefits from magnesium on your skin, inside your body. And why not try it to see if it stops any odor issues and sweating. This deodorant specifically says it's not an antiperspirant, and these aren't really meant to be antiperspirants. They're not really in that realm. They don't have aluminum, and that's something I'm trying to avoid, and you may be also trying to avoid, or you may want to research why I'm trying to avoid it and why other people are. A lot of people say there's no issue with it, but personally I want to make sure I'm at my healthiest as I get older, and I don't want to put anything in my underarm area that's going to be absorbed into my body that it may be a threat to it, just in case there are other options. And the Dr. Teal's with magnesium as the main ingredient is really appealing, so I decided to take this as a test. The one thing I don't enjoy about Native is that it creates a bit of a need to constantly use it. I'm not normally a very smelly person, but when I get out of the shower, if I don't apply the Native deodorant immediately after, if I wait a half an hour or so, I notice a bit of a smell, which I normally don't have. It somehow has a bit of I don't really know, it just changed the way my underarms normally smell. If I just keep on top of it, it's not an issue. Otherwise, it really does help deodorize throughout the day. That was something I was really keeping in mind when I was doing the comparison of the two, so I put the Dr. Teal's on my left underarm. And one thing I'm going to say that is really important, because it's a very stiff deodorant, it's very dry, and you're going to have to either apply water to your underarm first or on top of this, or let it sit on your skin for a few moments to warm up, and then you're able to spread it onto your skin. If you don't do either of those things first, then it doesn't actually apply well and it just kind of skips over your skin. And I also noticed it has a lot of product that disperses onto your underarm, and you have a little bit of pilling. So be careful with that with your clothes, just in case if you're worried about it rubbing off onto any dark shirts or dark colored clothing. With Native, it applies really smoothly and easily. There's no need to heat it up, and it lasts so long. So I'm guessing with the Dr. Teal's it won't last as long as Native does, because so much of the product comes off onto your skin. I opted for the eucalyptus scent. I really like it a lot. It smells a bit like pine needles. It's very similar to the mistletoe Native deodorant that I used months ago. It's definitely not a floral scent, and they had several other options you can go with if you like a floral scent, and they had other ones. I can't remember what they were, but they definitely have a good range of odors or scents. Maybe I shouldn't use the word odors, but different range of perfumes or scents that you can select from. However, Native has a huge range, and they have seasonal options, and they keep changing them and upgrading them. So you definitely have more choices when it comes to Native. And the other thing with Native is some of their versions have baking soda and some do not. So I was able to find a non-baking soda version. With Dr. Teal's, this does have baking soda. I think it's the 6th ingredient, but it also has arrowroot powder, and I really enjoy that as well because it does tend to help a little bit with sweating. So I went about my day, and at the very end of the day, it's in the evening, I have my HITT class, and the class is about 45 minutes to an hour. I came back from the class and tested the deodorant then. Both underarms smell fine. I can still smell the scents for each of them. The eucalyptus from Dr. Teal's is a bit stronger. I think it's because it applied so so thickly, just naturally how it spreads onto your underarm. So there was no issue with scent. The one thing I did really notice with Dr. Teal's is my underarm was drier and I didn't have a lot of sweat. With Native, I expect it to be a little bit sweaty, and my underarm, when I actually felt it, was damp and a bit sticky, so there was a big difference as far as keeping my underarms drier. This morning when I woke up, I double checked to make sure that after I showered, if I had the same result with the smell, and Native did the same thing as always, where it smells a little bit off and I have to put the deodorant on immediately. Dr. Teal's, I waited and waited about an hour before I put any deodorant on, and it didn't have a scent that was that strange kind of sour smell. So I think it's really in my skin still, even though I washed it off, and it worked a lot longer than Native. So I think this lasts a bit longer than Native, and I really enjoy that about this deodorant. So let's talk about price. This is $4.72 at Walmart. This is $12.49 at Walmart. And this is about $5 at Target. This is about $12.99 at Target. The difference in price is huge, even if there is less time to use this product because you're using so much at once. If it doesn't last 2.5 to 3 months like this one does, and it only lasts about 2 months, it's still worth it as far as price goes. So that is one of the big pluses. The Dr. Teal's cost is way less than the Native cost. So I decided that for the spring, I'm going to stick with the Teal's and see how long it lasts. I'll do an update if there's a big difference, because I know now that these Native deodorants take about between 2.5 and 3 months to run out, and that's what I expect. So 4 deodorants a year. This should, I'm thinking, maybe about 2 months, just because of the thickness of the deodorant and how much goes onto your skin compared to the Native. They have the exact amount of product. It's 2.65 ounces, 75 grams. They're the same size, so I think it's just going to run out a little quicker. But because the price difference is so huge, you're really saving a lot of money if you enjoy Dr. Teal's and purchase this instead of Native. As a follow-up, Dr. Teal's was a huge win. I really enjoyed using this deodorant, and I'm going to be using it for the next few months and have a roundup of deodorants eventually again. And I'm sure there'll be something to compare this to. If someone has a recommendation, I'm all ears, let me know. But it was definitely enjoyable to always use Native, and I have the 2 backups. I love trying different natural deodorants. They're definitely interesting. If you are looking for something natural, you're going to have an interesting time using them, and let me know if you found one that you're using that is like outstanding. I'm all excited and all ears to try a new product, and that's what really inspired me to try the Dr. Teal's when someone recommended it. And if you're interested in another video about natural deodorants and sensitive skin deodorants, I have this one next that you might want to check out.